Remember that scene with the chick? She asked for the real smoke. Well, check this out. Now you're going to ask right away, what is that blue noise? And that noise is apparently something that is, I don't know what it is, but it shows up when you add the camera directly to the LCD, and you may be able to get it otherwise, but it's there. I mean, it's on the print. And what you'll notice is that the ghosting shows up in it, and that ghosting seems to reveal the true form of whatever it really is. And so it's as yet to determine exactly what we're seeing, because I don't think they're going to provide a scientific explanation for it, at least not widely. But somebody probably knows, and whatever it is, it reveals part of what we're looking at here, and it affects the physical flesh, as you'll see. I noticed this in my study of the Matrix as well. There appears to be a texture, and the texture seems to be throughout the entire print, but it somehow affects the flesh form in the form of like a pock marks, these little pock marks. And the pock marks have like these little patterns in it. I don't know what that is, but you can definitely see the shape of the crater. And now here I'm going to start to reveal the forms, and you can see these ridges in her nose there, and it connects the nose to the face, but you see these like definite shapes of bridging patterns. What's interesting about this shot is that not only do you see patterns, but you see that the face is actually bigger than the flesh face that you normally see. You see how that's bigger? And also look at the mouth here. Look at that bottom part of the mouth. You see how that flesh is completely warped? It looks like some kind of monster, and it is. And with various adjustments to the lighting and to the color, you can see various things show up. But most importantly are the way that it affects the physical flesh, because that's the most ready to see. Because I know a lot of people looking at that camera noise are going to say, well, that's just camera noise, and you're seeing more than what's there. But when you see the actual shapes in the flesh, and in particular how they are affected by that noise, then it gives more credence that what's in the noise is real. And here you'll notice the Klingon or Kardashian kind of forehead, and you definitely see the pattern. And it's I tried to get as much out of it as I could, but it's hard to brighten it up without losing the image. And some of you who will observe this closer will notice that there's all kinds of activity in the ghosting around her face, and that blue stuff, that blue whitish stuff. But it's hard to see what's going on, and I even saw a face one time in it that was very clear. You could see an eye. But look at the patterns that it has on her face when you brighten this up, and you can actually see all this stuff, but you can't see it when it's dark. And I wonder sometimes if that's why they're pushing all these erectile dysfunction pills, because these reptilians, if this is what their women look like, you can see why they keep pushing that stuff. And again, look at you can see around the mouth starts opening up into these weird like shapes. You can see it, and then you see these fangs also showing up in that blue stuff. And here you see a definite pattern both in the forehead and elsewhere around the nose too. You can see these definite patterns showing up. And And look at all that pock marking. It's like the flesh seems to be affected by a cratering. And also here, this is really getting nasty, the mouth starts extending outward, and you see those fangs. It looks like fangs, but you'll notice that the mouth starts getting wider, and it really becomes more prominent later on. Notice the teeth here. Starts looking like a crocodile or a dinosaur. And you'll also notice those teeth patterns start extending outward beyond the length of the face. And you'll see the teeth taking all these strange shapes. Notice that crisscross pattern in the side of her mouth there. Again, the Klingon form in the forehead, and you can really start to see the ridges. But look at how big the mouth is getting. You see there on the right? It really looks creepy. Look at how big it's getting. And you can also see it starts to extend outward. You can start to see a shape coming out of it. And the rib pattern goes throughout the whole thing. I can't tell how much you're going to be able to see of it on YouTube, but you can see that it extends beyond the flesh. You can see the ghosting leads into the flesh and out of it, and the forms start to follow it. Alright, now look at this mouth here. I mean, if that other one wasn't nasty enough, look at this. You can see what looks like these teeth shapes in there, but they're not any kind of shape that teeth should be. And when you enhance the ghosting, you can see that there's like a pattern of shapes that are following the the flesh is following the pattern that's behind it. And I think it's a big, like a reptilian dinosaur face behind it. Yeah, I could be wrong, but I think that's a little more than a case of gingivitis. Notice that zigzag pattern along the cheek. Notice also the vertical slit eye is huge and looks like it would extend beyond even the eye indentation. While it's really hard to understand, I think that the actual being is much bigger, and it's hard to understand how that could be, but somehow it is, because the features that we're starting to see look like they might be quite a bit bigger than a human being. Notice along the cheek in this case what looks like it could be the large reptilian scales. And that's the real side of the face. It's a giant reptilian scaled face. It's really weird how the mouth seems to open up and you see the what looks like teeth inside. Again, notice the eyes, the slit pupil eyes look misaligned even from each other. Looks like one's pointing one way and one's pointing the other way. It's just an interesting thing to note. Also notice on the left side the scales that seem to form around the mouth. You see that? It looks like you see the scales starting to form. I can see all kinds of forms in that blue stuff, and I wonder, there's got to be somebody out there who can do some kind of spectral analysis and pick out more of the forms that are in there, because I see all kinds of stuff and you see it's there but you can't really make it out. I mean, I'm seeing like these dragon faces, and sometimes it looks like a human face. It's really weird. And look at the eyes. The eyes look so strange. There's like these strange shapes that start to form. Notice the tile shape on the lips here. See how the mouth here goes beyond even the shape of the face, but you can see it definitely affects the flesh. And you can see these little holes and stuff opening up on the side, like the flesh is trying to match what's really there, which is quite a bit bigger. Giant dinosaur mouth. In this case, you can see the ghosting around the side of the face, as though the face is quite a bit bigger, and you see these tiles going up and around it and all over the face. But in this case, you can really see that ghosting showing up. Look at all the little pockmark holes in this one. There's like these little hole-like craters. Kind of reminds me of Freddy Kruger.